Is your marriage transactional or transformational?
Well, stick around because your marriage is about to get crazy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Look, if you're looking to or you got to raise the bar on your marriage, you gotta click the link and get into Married into Crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this coaching is gonna take your relationship to another level. Now look, you already know you need to raise the bar. You know that already. So stop thinking or overthinking. Click that link, and Marriage into Crazy is gonna take you and your spouse to marital bliss. Now you know. Click the button. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married into Crazy podcast.
I'm Snooks.
And I'm Lovey. And hey, we thank you for coming back. There's one of those things that you have so many choices where you can go, what you can watch, what you can listen to, and how you can spend your time. And we feel very honored and blessed that you're spending some time with the Married into Crazy podcast. So we talk about all things marriage, right? We've been married 27 plus years and we've been through some things, so of course, if you've been with us for a long time and if you're brand new, I got stabbed early on through my heart, right after we got engaged by an enraged ex-boyfriend. Potentially, we faced a divorce when Snooks asked for a divorce in year 4 after we went through all that stuff. Went through a lot of coaching, a lot of prayer, a lot of drinking. I did a lot of drinking.
And here we are 27 years later and he's still complaining.
And I don't drink anymore. That's probably my number one complaint right now.
That you don't drink no more. Wow. Okay.
No, she has nothing to do with that. But look, hey.
I know.
Before we get started, I want to remind everybody to do us a huge favor. If you could, go over to YouTube where you're possibly watching us right now. If you're on your audio, definitely go over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, right? And leave a review. Same thing though. If you're listening to us in an audio version, wherever you downloaded the podcast, be sure to go back and subscribe. We want you to continue to be part of the conversation and go back within the inventory. We've got over 250 episodes of interviews, discussions, subject matter experts, so many different reasons, and such a catalog that can actually help you in some way, shape, or form with any number of challenges that might be showing itself in your marriage.
Also, go to marriedintocrazy.com and check out all the ways that we could be a blessing to your marriage. We have a store with our gear. I never wear hats, and someone made a comment about, how come you don't ever wear hats? So I got a hat on. I have a big head, but anyway.
They didn't say, well, your hair is busted. You need to wear a hat.
Wow.
I was asking.
Why would they say that, though?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Why would they say that? Are you
exactly,
thinking
babe.
that?
Why would they say that?
Wow, y'all.
Those are not your friends.
Anyway, there's also RTB, Raise the B.A.R. It's a self-paced online coaching program. What Lovey is going to be watching after we get done with this.
No, and that's for those individuals that aren't ready yet for our couple-to-couple coaching that we do. We've had international. We've coached couples in Canada, the United States, across the United States, as well as over in Europe. And so there's a variety of different ways that we want to give back to your marriage. And of course, through the podcast as well. And we actually do community work. We talk with other individuals. We do things. And then the latest thing that we just need to make everybody aware of, we are co-authors. We are now authors because we've been invited to participate in a book project. And both Snooks and I contributed our own chapters to a book called Out of Order. And those of you that have been around with us know that we lost our son. He was murdered a year ago.
June 22nd.
It was less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we've been asked to contribute to a book that helps other parents that have gone through similar situations, that have lost their child out of order. When I say child, doesn't matter how old they are. You could be 60 years old and you lose your 35-year-old child. Our son is forever 28. And, and there were other people that lost children that were even younger. But it's one of those things where we contributed, and we're encouraging everyone to purchase the book and hand it to a friend or for yourself prior to April 24th. Right now we're doing pre-orders. The link will be in the show notes for you to be able to get your copy, or copies, plural, to be able to hand out to support groups, organizations. We're working with different organizations within Sacramento to have it handed out to help those parents that are in need and that are going through the challenges that are associated with losing a child out of order.
Yep.
So that's up to speed now. We brought you up to speed. So what we've been doing lately is scouring the internet, the interweb, and looking for different content, different things, topics that we think are interesting. Sometimes Snooks gets to see it, sometimes she doesn't.
He ain't lying.
And I just kind of bring it. I want to catch a real world reaction to some of the things that people are saying and doing on the inter of the webs.
I was going to say enters the web. Okay.
Right, exactly. So this is going to be something from TikTok. And this is Tony Robbins. And I want to actually catch what he's saying. It's so funny. Every time I do this, the screen shifts. That is so funny to me.
Biggest problem in relationships today is everybody thinks you're supposed to meet my needs, right? And no, that's not how it works. In a relationship, you're going to have one of two things. You're going to have, like, people talk about toxic masculine. There's toxic masculine, toxic feminine. It's somebody who thinks I'm getting what I want or I'm out of here. It's an immature person. The second stage is equality. Okay, you do your part, I do my part. That's a transaction. And it sounds really good because it sounds egalitarian. On the surface it is, but then there's no opposite energies and there's no passion. So you have two people that are good friends and they live together, but they don't really have any passion. There's a third level, and the third level is your needs or my needs.
Amen.
Instead of, I can't make you feel this way, I'll do whatever it takes to meet your needs because that's what lights me up. This problem.
So I always come to you and I ask thoughts.
I definitely think you should be meeting my needs.
No, I feel you on that, and I feel the same. Though I think we're talking about different needs.
Never satisfied. Anyway, I agree with that.
All of it?
I think so. I do agree with it. I'm trying to get my words together. This is the part about seeing something on the spot and you're not able to really get the words together.
It's real world. I'm trying to get you. I'm like Johnny on the spot.
Wow.
Get your thought.
I mean, I do agree with some of it, What do you agree with? What do you think?
No, I the one thing that really stood out to me is that the marriage can't be transactional. And I see so often in our coaching and in conversations we have with other couples, even the ones we aren't coaching, that we surround ourselves with a variety of couples, newly married, been married for a very long time, much longer than us. And it just seems like so many of the challenges that people, all of us at some point go through, is that our relationship becomes transactional.
But it starts out transactional. I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit before. It starts out transactional because the transaction is I get a ring. You say yes. I say yes, I get a ring. And then we plan the wedding, or, there's like an exchange that happens. So
I don't absolutely agree. I mean, I get what you're saying as far as the ring and all that. And I don't want to really want to revisit that because we've already done multiple podcasts on the ring and what have you. But
it's still part of the transaction, though.
No, it's not just that. I'm talking about, oh, okay, you know what? We got married. You're the wife. Come home. I know you worked all day. I worked all day. Cook.
So
do X, Y, Z. Oh, okay. I'm the man. I got to go out, and it's like I did this. Oh, go ask your dad. Do this. It's like we keep pushing things off because that's your forte, or that's your arena, and then it's like, oh, okay, are you being the dutiful husband? Are you being the dutiful wife? And I hate that phrase, dutiful, because then it's like you have a duty to do something as opposed to a desire. And it's that duty that becomes transactional. I'm doing this in order to be a good husband. Bunk that. I'm not supposed to do something, mow the lawn, discipline the children, show up, smile, carry the bags at the mall. She's saying, yes, I do. In order to be a dutiful husband, because that's transactional. It should be like, hey, I'm out here having a great time with my wife. And I'm like, I love it when she's happy and she's shopping. She's doing some retail therapy, whatever. Let me carry that bag. Let me do this, and people are looking, be excited about it. To me, that's transformational, because there's joy in giving you joy. Or it's like, you know what? I'm going to go to the football game. I'm going to go to this work function with him, not because I want to be around these people I don't know or like. It's because, man, look at the look on his face. I love to see his joy. And I take part in that. That's transformational as opposed to transactional.
So first of all, as far as us and you shopping with me, that will not bring me joy. So we can take that off the table. I will carry my own bags because no, that is not fun for me. But, being serious, so I understand what you're saying as far as that goes. But when you talk about, I feel like the delineation of roles, basically, that's kind of what it boils down to for me. These are conversations that should have been had prior to getting married, because it shouldn't be just assumed that I'm the woman. That means I'm going to cook. My sister-in-law does not cook at all. And she will tell you, says, I don't cook. I don't cook. So what you want me to go pick up whenever we have a function?
Luckily, she got a man that does cook.
So now she does. She has a man that cooks, So it's just a matter of, what does the relationship look like to you, or how should it look to you and your partner? Have you all discussed who's doing what or whatever? Because it is part of transaction. It can start out transactional, but then it can become passionate too. I feel like it doesn't mean that if it starts that way, it's going to always be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Tony Robbins even mentions that once it becomes transactional, there's no passion. Then you're just nothing more than roommates. And we've been there. We've been roommates.
We've been roommates not because of the transaction, that we've been roommates because of what was going on.
But it was transactional. It was.
But it didn't. I'm saying it became that because of an issue, of a challenge that we had, and we just became robots, and we just did the thing that we normally do, or that we had said that we were going to do for the sake of whatever.
And just for those of you that are really listening intently and closely, we didn't do the thing.
We did not do that. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Year 4 after you asked for a divorce, when you was like,
yeah, we did. Mm-hmm. We did for a little bit, and then we didn't. So, no. Anyway,
what was that program called? The online at your pace, Raise the B.A.R.
that you need.
That I need.
So, I just feel like, there are certain things that probably people take for granted. And it comes from, experiences, past experience. I feel like what you saw, in your own homes, so you have to get together and discover your relationship language. Who's doing what's going to happen, blah, 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 whatever, It's kind of like when we talk about, if I'm better at something, okay, I'll do that. And if you're better at something, then you'll do that also. So, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. This thing it's jumping all over the place.
Okay.
My bad. They're like,
See?
dang,
He is not paying attention.
him and
He ain't paying
technology,
attention.
him and technology do not get along.
But I mean, I could see where the let me, how do I say this? I could see where the transactional part can become misconstrued because dang it, you made me forget what I was getting ready to say. You didn't make me. I totally just stopped right there. It's
But that's
like,
a good point. Let me segue into, you said, you make me. Tony Robbins mentioned something towards the very end about, a person thinks that the other individual is responsible for their happiness. Like, you need to make this, you need to make me, you're not doing the things that make me happy. You're not, what you're doing is causing me, what he was alluding to was that something that you're doing isn't fulfilling me. And it's like, no, it's like, I shouldn't have an expectation that you are going to make me happy or that I need you to do something in order for me to want to do something for you. I should find my joy. I should do whatever it takes to bring you joy because it brings me joy.
So I feel like that could go either way, because number one, first of all, we should not be looking for another person to make us happy.
Amen.
So, and there is a difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is the feeling that I get when, oh, I'm so happy you gave me flowers or whatever, So, it could kind of be like, well, I'm not happy because I never get flowers. If I never get flowers, that means I'm never going to be happy. Or someone could take it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have joy because of who we are together in our relationship.
Okay.
If I don't get flowers, if I don't, you don't cook me dinner, that doesn't matter to me because what I mean to you and what you mean to me matters to me. And it has nothing to do with the flowers or what the things, the transactional, I guess, things that you could possibly be doing for me. You know what I'm saying? So my happiness is going to come from myself. It should come from myself because I can only make me happy, even though some of your actions, they bring me joy and I do get excited about the little things or whatever, but it's not fair of another person to require someone else to make them happy. That's not what we're here for.
No, I agree. But and again, to another point that Tony Robbins made was that, dang, he's not even paying us. I said his name like a gazillion times. No, but I love his work and what he does. He talked about maturity briefly in the beginning, but he talked about an immature couple. And I think that a lot of the things that we're talking about, and a lot of the topics, a lot of the discussion points that we've talked about over the years seems to always come back to a level of maturity.
I agree.
And it doesn't matter. And maturity has absolutely nothing to do with biological age. Doesn't matter if you're 60 years old and newly married or married for the third time, or if you're 19 years old getting married for the first time. Maturity has a lot to do with, basically being crazy, being compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding.
I agree with that. I mean, because you can't be compassionate if you're immature. That's just me personally.
Because you're just like, oh, it's all about me.
Because it's all about me. Because I'm selfish. I don't give a damn what's going on with you.
We just talked about that in the previous episode. Not the journaling one we just did with Gino, but the one prior to that was just talking about ego, and that was a big part of it.
And being able to be real. Being real. It speaks to being able to be vulnerable. And you can't be vulnerable. I feel like you can't be vulnerable, or you won't be, if there is that, like you said, the immaturity. You have to be able to be open. But then I probably shouldn't say that, because some people, the reason that they're not vulnerable is because lack of trust, which comes from experiences that they've either had themselves or the things that they've witnessed. So
Well,
and the things that you're taught. You know, a lot of men are taught can't be vulnerable. You got to be, because you the man. You got to, you know.
you know what? There's another. I'm not gonna play it now because it's on another episode. We're gonna touch upon vulnerability in a relationship because I think that's an extremely important topic. But I think the things that you're talking about, trust, being vulnerable, having that type of understanding and willingness to let the walls down, comes with doing certain things that I think we should address with this segment of the show that is sponsored by RaiseTheBarMarriage.com. And every segment, every episode, I should say, we have a segment of the show where we go into an actionable item, something that you can do, an action that you can take that even before the end of the podcast, before this thing ends, you can put into motion that will add dividends, that will add value to your relationship. So again, this particular segment, it's going to allow you to raise the bar in your relationship, and it's sponsored by RaiseTheBarMarriage.com.
So the segment today, we're going to talk about express appreciation daily. Thank your partner for specific things they do, big or small. And I feel like that kind of ties into what we're kind of talking about a little bit.
A little bit, it does, but it's funny. There's a book out there called Atomic Habits, right? I think it's by James Clear. Phenomenal book. I love that book. There's so much in there. But he's talking about not atomic, like atomic bomb, boom, something huge. He's talking about at the most basic level of existence, atoms. The way you create change is by developing habits. But he says they're atomic habits. It's the little things that you do that stack up, and then you're able to create a bigger habit, a more impactful habit. Same thing comes to your relationship and your marriage, right? That it's the atomic little things, the everyday things. Can you read it again?
Express appreciation daily. Thank your partner for something specific, big or small.
Big or small. Appreciation should be focused on, or appreciating the small things, appreciating the things that each of you do daily. We get lost in the daily, right? I don't want to call it the mundane, but we get lost in the minutia of life. And so every single day we take things for granted. The fact that, I roll over and I'm tired and I really don't want to get up, and my wife reaches over and just rubs my back. Thank you for doing that. I'm being very real right now. Thank you for doing that, because just her touch really, that's my love language.
That makes you want to leave?
It makes me want to get up out of the room. No, it's like it grounds me. It centers me.
What are you talking about?
Right? It's like, okay. It's in a weird way. It's like, I'm safe. You know what? I'm okay. I'm okay to get up and go, and battle the world, because your touch allows me to have that strength.
Well, I think too is, for me, when I know you're struggling, I just,
yep. And that's a little thing, right? It's a big thing, but it's also a little thing. And we need to appreciate that. And we need to let each other know that we appreciate those things.
And honestly too, it helps you stay connected. It helps you stay connected to your partner. Like I said, I recognize that certain things, certain sides, we know our partners, right? And certain body languages, certain moves, or those kind of things. Okay, he's struggling. When I came in today, he didn't really even have to say anything. I knew he was struggling. So I was like, okay, what's wrong? He's like, oh, whatever, blah, 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 what have you. But I recognized that there was something going on. I got stuff going on too. But at that moment, I chose to put myself, step back, and then worry about him. And, some people, that comes as that's a challenge for some people.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big challenge for some people. And it doesn't mean that I shrink myself so that, it's just all about him. There are times that I do, but I don't have a problem doing that because he does the same thing. So we're in a relationship where we take comfort in knowing that The relationship between us comes first. It comes before me. It comes before him. And I don't have an issue with it because I know that he puts this first before he puts him first. Now, if that's a challenge for someone in a relationship, maybe it's because there are subconscious feelings of like, oh, well, he wouldn't do that for me, so I know I ain't finna do that for him. You know, there are various reasons for it, but this relationship that we have, that we talk about, when we talk about Married and Crazy, we are very serious about our marriage and other people's marriages too. That's why, excuse me, we do what we do.
Right.
So
to lift everyone else up as well. And so, and the easiest way to do that is just to show appreciation daily. Think about, here's the actionable step. Take a moment, take a deep breath, and think about, what does my spouse do that I just take for granted? And just sit with it for a little bit. Is it that he cooks, she cooks, cleans, deals with the kid, stands in the gap, you know, deals with a certain family member that you don't feel like messing with, handles the bills, mows the lawn, you know, waters the plants, does something, you know, makes you coffee in the morning just the way you like it. You know, what are the little things that you do or that they do that you take for granted that you can just stop, give appreciation, show appreciation, let them know that you see them. Mm-hmm. What is it? And that is one way that you can raise the bar in your marriage. So go ahead and handle that. Look, we're going to cut this short because we got things to do. We got committees to be on. We're going to be at a marriage conference coming up the latter part of this month, actually in a couple of weeks. April 19th, we're going to be at the CMCR 45th anniversary marriage conference.
It's in Zephyr Cove?
Zephyr Cove up in Lake Tahoe. It's not too late. As a matter of fact, we'll put that in the show notes as well. If you see this and you live in the Northern California, Northern Nevada area, and you're interested in attending a marriage conference, the CMCR, and that's Christian Marriages Commitment Renewed Marriage Retreat that's taken place, 45th year. And we're honored to participate. Last year we were the keynote speakers, and this year we're participating in another capacity. So check that out. That'll also be in the show notes.
Yeah.
So until the next time,
be blessed.
Tell your cousin, tell your uncle, tell your brother. No. He doesn't even sound as good.
I'm sorry.
Because
you're trying to throw the man in there. Good job, Lovey. Okay, I see you.
It was a struggle. Hey, look, y'all. To the next time, be blessed. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.